today, and lots to talk about today, but the focus is going to be on website security, which extends further than you think. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news, you've seen a bunch of stuff. I'll go over that quickly today. That gasoline pipeline company that was held hostage by hackers, DarkSide based in Russia, and they had to pay a ransom. And then now the FBI actually hacked back and got that ransom back. So interesting story there, and hopefully that's a deterrent. Shows you the sophisticated hacking capabilities on both sides of the capabilities there. So so what that was a website software system that was held hostage. And many people might ask, what's that have to do with my website? Well, your website needs security, and that is by far one of the things that we continue to recommend to our clients. We have seen websites hacked, absolutely, and most of it is because a website is out of date and is not updating its security protocols, that type of thing. It's either the site's too late, too old, and aged, or else maybe they have WordPress and they just haven't updated, they haven't kept up with that. It's been too old, and so that is important. I mean, with website security is, it's just like, good car maintenance. You cannot just assume your car's going to buy it once. Hey, I bought this sucker and paid for it in full. It should run forever, right? You got to take care of it, right? Websites the same way, and particularly with security now, got to keep that up to date. You can't let your site get too old, too out of date. We have a monthly security service that we offer, which takes a look at website security, makes WordPress updates, plugin updates, can take care of a lot of those necessary pieces for you. So that's a key. The other thing that you saw, maybe even today, if you're paying attention to the news, was Google had outage, Amazon had outage, Target's website had outage. All of these had outages, and they traced that back to a content delivery network they all use called Fastly. Okay, so it also matters what tools are being used out there. You think, hey, Google, right? They should be able to take care of their own stuff. Well, it turns out they were using a third-party provider to help with content delivery around the world. And so you need to also kind of be aware of the hosting. Okay, that's probably the biggest thing for a website for small, medium-sized business is what's your hosting. We host websites, and yes, our hosting costs more than GoDaddy. Okay, why should that matter to you? Is because we're taking care of that, versus GoDaddy with their thousands of customers, that they're sort of taking care of for that cheap price and all those kinds of pieces there. It's an important thing. The infrastructure of the web hosting, the security and updates on the web system, all those pieces. And so when somebody says to me, hey, you're too expensive, we're going to move to GoDaddy, I'm like, all right, you can do that if you want to, but don't, come to me when your website's not up and say, why is my website not up? I'm going to say, it's GoDaddy, contact GoDaddy, okay? Because that's a lot of what's going to happen with cheap hosting. So you do get what you pay for in that realm. Now, coming back to security, I want to talk about, many people think, okay, you got the monthly security service, so our website's good, right? Yes and no. The other piece, and we've got a blog post out there today on that on Digital Hills website, is your email, your company email, because a lot of these phishing schemes or methods to get into systems, to get into even a website, start first with a phishing scheme in email, where they're trying to get access to your computer, to your email address, and then trying to kind of watch what you do, track movements, track those kind of things, get passwords, get access. Okay, so the one on the website today is a common one I'm seeing going around, and this typically comes into your website contact form, and it's going to start with something similar to an email that comes in. It says, "Hello, this is XYZ, and I'm a certified photographer. I was baffled, put it in lightly, when I found my images on your website. I use a copyright images, uh, and you're using it without license. You can be sued. It's illegitimate. And take a look at this document with links to my images used at your site." And then it's a link. And and what's in common with these then is it's a sites.google.com/view bunch of their shared storage file and download. Okay, they're trying to get you. So that's not. You can tell by that root domain, sites.google.com. Okay, so that's actually some type of simple website set up on Google, but it has a download that they're trying to get onto your machine to take you a look at and open the file up. Okay, this is a common one out there. It's a scare tactic that says you're using a copyrighted image. Okay, so don't fall for that. Don't fall for that phishing email. And there's a bunch of these out there. They typically are going to demand urgent action. They're going to, highlight something grievous that you've done, but look for bad grammar and spelling mistakes, awkward salutation, suspicious email attachments or links. Okay, don't be clicking on those babies. All right, so we're seeing this all the time, but that's a way in. They're trying to get access to a machine, to an email account, and then ultimately see where they can go from there. So security is paramount these days. You can just see it. If Google has downtime, if this gas company that does half of the gas pipeline on the eastern side of the U.S. can get hacked, there is potential out there, and you've got to take some proactive steps. So proactive step number one, monthly security review, where our team is doing that work for you. Take a look at your website. Proactive step number two, educating your employees. Don't just click on links that come into your email. You got to be very careful. If you don't know the source, do not click on any link. Take other means to try to verify that that's legitimate. Okay, so that's the security protocol review that you got to know today, because it's just incredibly important for your website, for your company. Can cost you lots of downtime, productivity, dollars. Okay, and nobody needs that. So take a look at those items today, and hopefully that gives you some help. All right, this is Mike with a Live with Michael. See you again next time. Take care.